What's up guys, macadii here, and today guys, week 3 of the Universal Analyst League, where I am up against Vankieth, coach of the Fighting Qwillfish. Now if you guys are excited, don't forget to leave a like down below, I would really appreciate it. All of his links will be down there as well, so don't forget to go and check him out and all of that good stuff. So what we're going to do now is run through what his draft is, what I'm going to be bringing to answer that, and then finally go into the battle from there. So what he's got is Talonflame, M.Absol, Shaymin, Heracross, Nidoking, Qwilfish, Mandibuzz, Blastoise, Magneton, Clefable, and Golem. So a lot of very spooky threats, and a lot of checks to offense as well, like the Talonflame being a real pain, and also the M.Absol with its sucker punches and stuff like that. So I sat down for a while, had a think, and I must admit, I'm still trying to get used to this draft. It's a very offensive draft for what I'm used to, and that's deliberate. Like, I really want to try and learn, you know, more hyper offensive, play more aggressively in draft format, so I figured this was the best way to go. And what I decided to do was decide, you know, we're going to go for hyper offense. I don't do it too much, I'm more of a balanced guy, but let's give it a go and see what we can do. So that's what I decided to go for. You know, got a decent amount of bulk, decent, you know, relative checks to quite a few things, ways to stop, you know, checks to, you know, some of the setup that he might be bringing, like Swords Dance, M.Absol, Swords Dance, Talonflame, and I think that's mainly Carmine, Clefable, that sort of thing, and being able to just put loads and loads of pressure on his team. So this is the first guy that I decided to build around, and put in a lot of work. So he only has 3 Pokemon that outspeed me: Talonflame, M.Absol that's megaed. If it's unmegaed, I can still outspeed it, and also the Shaymin. So the rest of the things, the Heracross, Nidoking, Qwilfish, Mandibuzz, Blastoise, Magneton, Clefable, and Golem, those are all outsped by the Qwilfish. So I've got Fusion Bolts, which allows me to hit the Qwilfish, the Mandibuzz, the Blastoise. I've got Ice Beam, which also allows me to hit the Mandibuzz. So if the Mandibuzz is physically defensive, I'm better off with Ice Beam. If it's specially defensive, Fusion Bolt does more. So regardless of its spread, I should be able to 2-hit KO it from there. So that's really nice. The Nidoking obviously takes Ice Beams very poorly. Heracross might be able to take a hit, but you know, it's going to be 2-hit KO'd by something. So that's really nice. But I do need to check to Scarf Cross, because that could be very spooky. Blastoise is I can hit hard. If it's non-Scarf Magneton, I do outspeed that. Clefable's 2-hit KO by Iron Head, and Golem, I mean, Ice Beam outside of Study is going to kill anyway. So it's a very nice set for me. I actually don't really, I looked at it, I was like, oh, I'll slap on a Life Orb to start, and then I looked at the calcs and I was like, actually, I don't really need it, and I'm actually better off going for leftovers on this guy, because when you look at its defensive stats, naturally, I'm really bulky, and his main checks are Talonflame, which is actually relatively weak. Like, Banded does 50 to 60%. So if I can just use my leftovers to keep myself healthy, while also punishing all the slower mons, it's going to make him very hard, you know, make it very hard to revenge kill. I mean, M.Absol does about the same with Play Rough as well. I think that's the hardest it can hit me. So as long as I just keep my health up to a point where he can't come in and try and revenge kill me, because if he tries to come in and revenge kill me, I'm just going to blow him back. I mean, you know, I'm going to take a lot of damage, but that means he's going to die. So as long as I stay bulky, stay healthy, then this set is definitely going to be putting in the work. Enough speed to outspeed all of his base 85s, and you know, the rest in 252 in attack and the rest in special attack. So I'm mainly sort of physically offensive with the Iron Head and Fusion Bolt. Ice Beam still, with the 80 investment, still Oko's Nidoking. And as I said, the Mandibuzz is 2-hit KO regardless of its spread from there. So it's really nice in terms of, you know, the spread from that guy. Next we got the Scolipede, which does a couple of things. So I've got enough speed here to outspeed the Shaymin. I can't outspeed anything further than that, so there's no point putting any more speed in that. And then I've got 200 HP with a Cobra Berry, so this allows me to be bait for that Talonflame. If the Talonflame leads off, or he sort of goes into it, I can potentially take that hit. It's gonna be difficult. Like, I'm gonna take 50-60% from that hit, even with the berry. And Rock Slide then KOs you know, even relatively HP invested Talonflame from full, with 148 in investment. I took a while trying to work out what to go for here. Like, I wanted to go Poison Jab or X-Scissor, because X-Scissor allows me to hit the M.Absol harder, still allows me to hit the Shaymin, but then I struggle a little bit more with things like the Clefable. But I decided Poison Jab was better in case he wants to lead Clefable. I can sub on that T-Wave or Rocks and 2-hit KO with Poison Jab from there. So that's why I decided to go for Poison Jab on this guy over X-Scissor. Substitute, which allows me to evade Sucker Punches and all of that good stuff. I decided to go for that rather than Protect, which is a little bit risky, but, you know, he might end up Swords Dancing, predicting me to Protect, and then I can just get up the sub and then Poison Jab back or do something like that. You know, be a little bit cheeky. And finally, Baton Pass, because if I can Baton Pass a sub plus Speed Boost to Cure and Black, that's going to be absolutely fantastic. Then we've got Queen Gemini. I consider going just offensive on this guy, but then I realised that M.Absol and Talonflame, which is already a check to switch-ins, becomes another check to Mega Diancie, because they both get, well, one gets Iron Tail, one gets Iron Wing, or Steel Wing, sorry. So they can both do a huge amount of damage to me. So I decided a Rock Polish set was the better way to go, because I can actually capitalise on mainly either the Clefable or the Mandibuzz, and basically get a Rock Polish up on those guys. Diamond Storm, if I can, you know, if there's a weaker mon, I can pick it up with Diamond Storm, get the defense boost. I actually take a lot less from a Talonflame if he wants to go for Steel Wing, especially with all of that HP investment. Like, when I Mega up, I got 110 in the defense, so it's definitely, you know, reasonable defenses, especially once you get that HP investment. So it actually does a lot less than you think it would. I don't even get O-code. I think it's like 70% from a banded Steel Wing, which is just crazy, really. So if I can get that +1, I might even be able to avoid a Tukio, and then Rock Polish on his Steel Wing, and then kill him off from there, and basically sweep his team, because he doesn't have too much that's going to be able to take this guy on. I just need to basically weaken the Clefable, weaken the Blastoise, and everything else is kind of good to go outside of berries and stuff like that. Next we got Honchkrow, which I was considering going Scarf, because his only real check is like the Magneton, but then I decided actually a better way to go is for Life Orb, because if I can pass a Speed Boost into Murdercrow, he doesn't have too many checks, this guy. I've got enough speed there to outspeed a max speed Talonflame, which allows me to then Sucker Punch on his Brave Bird, out-prioritize him, and take him out from there. The speed boost on here, also just a note, allows me to outspeed his entire team, and also outspeed things like Scarf Heracross. I think it's all the way up to Scarf Heracross. I mean, Scarf Shaymin's probably his only thing that could outspeed me. Let's see. So I get to like 200, I get to like 530 speed. Yeah, if he was max speed Timid Shaymin, he'd outspeed, but I wasn't expecting that. So it basically allows me to outspeed his entire team from there. I've got Brave Bird. Brave Bird's my main thing to collect, because he actually doesn't have anything that resists Bird Spell outside of Magneton, which I can then superpower if he's non-scarfed, because I do also speed creep the Magneton, which is also really, really nice. The Night Slash just gives me nice neutral dark things where I don't have to worry about going for Sucker Punches and stuff like that. Next we got the Starmie, which is like a bulky but kind of offensive Starmie with Analytics. So Analytic allows me to basically bluff a little bit more, maybe make me sound a little bit more offensive, and just basically just hit a little bit harder on switches and stuff like that. It gives me a reasonable check to, let's see, so mainly some of the bulkier things, like I can still switch into the Mandibuzz, I can handle the Blastoise, and mainly, most importantly, it gives me a Rapid Spinner. I didn't like Gligar, because Gligar, if he's got Natural Gift Talonflame, Ice Beam on M.Absol, you know, sneaky hidden power ices basically. I just didn't really like the look of Gligar at all this matchup. It just didn't really do too much, so I thought Starmie was a better way to go. I got the Colbur Berry on there, which is nice. The Dazzling Gleam allows me to do good amounts of damage to the M.Absol. Scald does, you know, good amounts of damage to everything else. The Shaymin is a bit of a worry. I don't really have a switched into Shaymin outside of my remix, so that was something that was going to have to be, you know, I'd have to try and deal with that a little bit more in the match. But I did originally have Ice Beam on here, but I wanted to be able to hit that M.Absol extra hard, especially with the fact I've got Colbur Berry on that for that, you know, particular reason. It also gives me a semi-check to Scarf Heracross. If he goes for close combat, I can take that on. If you go to bug moves and stuff like that, you know, Diancie can handle it. Remix can also take a hit and basically copy any Moxie boosts and stuff like that, which is really, really nice. And that, you know, kind of nicely leads on to the Ditto. So this is a Choice Scarf Ditto. Checked. It's mainly a check for Talonflame, M.Absol, and yeah, and also the Heracross as well. And the other thing is as well, the IVs on this guy is, the IV spread is designed to be able to take on Magneton, because that allows me to get hidden power ground. So if he's got HP, I don't know, HP rock, or not rock, like HP ice or something like that to take on, you know, take on the Gligar or something like that, that means I'm going to actually get HP rock and HP ground, and then do a huge amount to that Magneton from there with that Choice Scarf, and kind of catch him off guard, if that makes sense, from there. So that was the team. What we're going to do now is move on to the battle, and you guys can see how it ended up. Okay, so we are at the match, and as you can see, he decided to bring a lot of bulk, which was very, very scary. He had the Clefable there, obviously the Mandibuzz, which was going to be incredibly bulky. Luckily for my Wall Breakers, it wasn't going to be too much of an issue. I've got Ice Beam on this guy, and also the Bolt Strike, and then finally the Moonblast on my Diancie. That guy's also setup fodder as well as the Clefable for rock polishes. So I was like, that seems to be the best way to go, because I can OHKO that guy, I can OHKO that guy, 2-hit KO that guy, he can't do too much to me. That guy I can kill after a little bit of damage. Might have the, I was thinking maybe like the ground barrier on this guy, just because that way he can take the Moonblast, he can then, you know, obviously I go for Earth Power, don't kill, and he goes for Waterfall. And then finally the Magneton as well, I can outspeed with a rock polish, so that's going to be, you know, one way to be able to kill this guy, and I can Earth Power from there. So what I decided my best lead here was to lead off with my Scolipede and try and get some speed boost and see what damage I can do from there. So I lead off with my Scolipede as he leads off with his Boomtastic, which is his Qwilfish, as I decided to just go for a sub here. He might try and go for spikes or something like that. Overall, I thought that was the best way to go, as he goes straight into his Mandibuzz, and I was like, oh, I think he's going to go for Whirlwind here, but I might as well try my hand. He might go for Foul Play, so I go for the Baton Pass. If he's going to go for Foul Play, he can't break the sub on my Diancie, especially with the defenses being the way they are, but he does show he's got the Whirlwind, so I need to make sure my Diancie's megaed up before I pass any speed to that guy. And I do end up switching back into my Diancie because I know I can handle this guy. I wasn't expecting the Toxic here because I did have my Natural Cure. He does go for the knockoff, and I can take that on the chin because I've still got my defenses. I don't have an item technically because it's a Mega Stone. So what I do here is I just go for my Rock Polish as he does go into the Magneton. So that's really, really nice for me. And I was like, the only thing is it might have Sturdy. Do I decide to risk it? And I looked at my team and I was like, actually, I do have the Cobalion. Like, it would make sense for him to try and trap and kill my Cobalion. So I don't think he's going to be Sturdy here. So I'm just going to fire off an Earth Power, because his only real switching is the Talonflame, which I can kill, and also his Mandibuzz. So I take out this guy. Really, really nice for me. And I'm in a great position. Out comes this guy, and I'm like, oh, something's up. Like, I don't trust this. I have a chance to kill. I'm still thinking he's got that ground barrier or something like that. So I decided to switch out here and go into my NASCAR bug, as he goes to the Destiny Bond, which is really interesting. So I'd have gone for the Earth Power. He'd have Destiny Bonded if he'd have lived. And then I'd have had to try and work out what to do from there. So from here, what I do is I just go for Rock Slide, predicting the Mandibuzz to come in. Unfortunately, it does not come in as he starts setting up some spikes. So he seems to be some sort of like hazard stacking spooky set, which is going to like speedy hazard stacking Destiny Bonding set. And a lot of my team outspeed this guy. So once he gets Destiny Bond like here, I'm in a spot of bother because I don't want something to die because of that Destiny Bond. But it's not worth trading this for a Qwilfish, especially him at +1. But unfortunately, the Destiny Bond means I now can't do anything about this. So I decided to go for Superpower here in case he decides to be cheeky and click spikes. So I just go for Superpower because I know I can get it back, my attack drop back with my Moxie. As he does just go for the Destiny Bond again. I know I will most likely kill next time, so I have to switch out here, unfortunately. And I go into my Ditto because I'm like, I need to find out exactly what set this is. And it ends up being a max HP, max speed set with spikes, T-spikes, Destiny Bond, and also Waterfall. That's it. So I switch out here and I'm like, I need to get rid of these hazards. So I can go into Patrick. I know I wall this guy as he switches out here and goes into his Mandibuzz. That's fine by me. I'm just going to rapid spin here. As funnily enough, he actually goes for his own defog, getting rid of the spikes on his side and also on my side. So it's probably better off going for Scald or something like that. I just fire off a Scald here because, just to get some damage off. If I snag a burn on the Mandibuzz, it'd be nice, as he goes out into his Clefable. So I need to try and work out what set this is. I switch out and go into my NASCAR bug. I wasn't expecting the Flamethrower here, so I thought this was my best switch to go for. I can get some more speed boost. If I can kill this guy, if he's, Calm Mind mono attacking, then I can later on pass the speed boost out. I've got enough HP still to be able to take on the Talonflame, so I'm basically good to go from here. So he does go for a Calm Mind here, as I'm like, right, I need to just Poison Jab here. Literally no reason not to. Everything else takes a good amount of damage from Poison Jab, as he just goes to the Flamethrower and blows me back. But that's fair. Now the Clefable's out the way, and as you can see, swept by Rock Polish, swept by Rock Polish, swept by Rock Polish, and swept by Rock Polish. So all I need to do now is get an opportunity when my Mega Diancie in on that Mandibuzz, set up a Rock Polish, and then it's basically game. So out comes the Heracross, and this is one thing that's going to be a stopper to this. If it's a Choice Scarf Moxie Heracross, so I needed to basically try and work out what move it was going to lock himself into. I was absolutely sure this is going to be Scarf. Looking at his team, it made by far the most sense. So I switch out here, make a risk, go into my Patrick, because he doesn't have any way to set up rocks now if he had rocks in his Clefable, and that means I knew I could take 2 close combats. If he went for a bug move, I could go into something else. Mega Diancie could take the hit, even at +1, I was pretty sure, if I remember rightly, and I could go on from there, or go into Remix and Revenge Kill, or do something like that. So he does go for close combat here, so I breathed a sigh of relief there, and I think I decided to go for the recover, as he switches out here and goes into his Mandibuzz. This is the position I needed to be in, because now he's going to either, go for a knockoff or stay in. If he pulls a double, not too bad. I'm going to find an opportunity to go into my Diancie somehow. So I just go into my Diancie here, as he then decides to go for the knockoff again. So now I'm in a great position. I'm like, right, I think this is game right now. Go for that Rock Polish as he goes to the Whirlwind. I think he forgot that I was Magic Bounce, and it blows him back out into his Heracross. I checked, triple checked, quadruple checked. I outspeed the Scarf Heracross. So I go for the Moonblast, take the guy out, and which is really, really nice. Out comes the Talonflame. I can outspeed it, go for that Diamond Storm, take him out. I think he was going for Steel Wing, but as I said, I got enough speed on there to outspeed his entire team. And then out comes the Qwilfish, and basically it's a clean up from Mega Diancie from there. Mega Diancie showing how scary it is, especially after Rock Polishes, especially when when you've got much more passive mons that you can set up on. So Moonblast is going to be a Tokyo, and that is basically game from there, because all he can do is knock me off, and that's doing absolutely nothing. So the Moonblast is going to go through there, and that is going to be game. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Honestly, Vankieth, that was a really, really fun match. Queen Gemini coming through, but still, a really, really good game. Don't forget, Vankieth's links will be down in the description below, so don't forget to go and check him out. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, and I will see you guys at the next one. Macadii out.